Everybody? John. Amy, ready? She's ready. Check with the administration over there. Mr. McNamee, you ready or you angry at me? Your body language is not very helpful.
Angry and ready.
Two things can be true at once. It's actually going to use that today. All right. Good. Excellent. I would like to call the March 11th, 2026 regular school committee meeting to order. It is approximately 6 p.m. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is located in the corner of the room near Principal McKinnon. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, if we could just take a moment for reflection before we get our meeting underway. Thank you. I would like to remind everyone that we are in a library. It absorbs a lot of the sound. So when we speak tonight, if we could just speak clearly and directly to our audience.
Wow.
Loud.
It's noisy there.
Oof. Don't ask me to speak loud, Roger. That's not.
Okay.
No, but please make sure we're projecting so everyone in the audience and at home can hear us. That said, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 2.1 through 2.7, or does anyone have anything they'd like to take out? Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Consent agenda approved. Any public input this evening? Got you covered with the, yeah, I was going to say, got you covered with projecting.
Q.
All right, moving over to Principal McKinnon, Spotlight, update on winter activities at Wilbur McMahon School.
Thank you, Chairpersonality and members of the school committee. Tom's going to be getting something up right now. No problem. We do have a couple slides here that we'll go through. First and foremost, the first picture you're going to see is a picture that is not Jack Nicholson and The Shining in 1980. That is Chris Osborne working his way into the building on that day. The three custodians, Chris Osborne, Paul Borges, and Jeff Lopez, were basically here at the height of the storm. And I have to say, we were probably ready to go. The school was clear. The parking lot's cleared by Wednesday. I mean, they did a great job staying on top of it, knowing that too that the school is also a warming place in the event that the police or fire had to use it. Did a fantastic job. Next slide kind of brings us to a place 6 years ago, right around this time, as a matter of fact, virtual learning that took place. As a picture of our fifth grade class as they're meeting with their teacher. It's kind of a scary look because that's what virtual learning looked like back in 2020. Next slide. Last week we had Wellness Week. Mary Elizabeth Miller, our social worker, and Noelle Kiernan every year come up with, along with Carolyn Sedgwick, come up with some ideas for student, faculty, and staff wellness. It's a picture of a couple of our kids being involved with some aerobics and some yoga. We had a little food drive that took place last week and up until this morning. Our third graders were the winner with an average of about 7.6 items per student. Did a fantastic job. So they'll get a little treat in a couple of days. Next slide. Last week, our grade 8 students went to the Rhode Island State House as a guest of Representative McGaugh. They had an opportunity to see some of the beautiful architecture in the building. And had an opportunity to also vote on some current laws that are in place. And one of the neat things was with that was one of the laws that they voted on was should cell phone usage in schools. And A majority of them voted that they thought the current uh, process that we have here is very fair. So I thought that was pretty neat. Some other things, including a bottle bill that they voted unanimously for to incorporate a bottle bill in the state of Rhode Island. Next slide, Tom. I should go, we're going to go back to that last group of eighth graders. We also have, I need to mention this, 11 of our 22 students have qualified for the Civics Bee, which is going to be taking place on June 16th in East Greenwich. There are 20 kids from throughout the state. 11 of them are from this particular class, eighth grade. Just a great honor for those students and for Mr. Torres, who was their teacher, their civics teacher. Spelling bee winners, this took place on February 5th, but I think our last meeting, we were in we went through the bullying report. Those are our students, our grade level students. And our winner in the middle, up top there, is Annie Morley. She is going to the state spelling bee championship on March 21st for the third year in a row. But congratulations to all those students for their outstanding efforts this year. I think we have one or two more slides, Tom. Marianne Vareka, I found this out afterwards, but she is retiring after 27 years as a teacher here in Little Compton. She has spent the last 19 years as a kindergarten teacher, and she has been recognized by the Tiverton Little Compton Lions Club as the Wilbur McMahon School Teacher of the Year. She was feted along with police and fire and teachers throughout Tiverton. She was feted at the Whites of Westport on Saturday in front of about 300 people. It was a great night. She did an outstanding job in her conversation with the group. And let's see, next slide. 100th day was on February, I believe it was February 10th was the 100th day. As some pictures of our kindergarten and first grade students celebrating the 100th day. Next slide is our students of the month, January. It was the theme was balanced, and those students that can incorporate, the physical, mental, and social into their everyday life. In February, how fitting, the theme was caring, and those are our students of the month. In recognition, they also received a little gift at the end of it. And if you would, next slide, this finishes it up. Advocacy Day is next Wednesday. That is our IB Community Project. That'll be taking place on Wednesday of next week. School committee is all invited. We are also recognizing our attendance superstars, those students who haven't missed any days the second trimester. I think we might open it up to maybe one or two absences during that time. The renowned script spelling bee, as I mentioned, is the 21st at Lincoln Middle School. Our band and chorus play at the Providence Bruins, not this Saturday or the following Saturday, the 21st. Mary Poppins, Noah Russo, and Nicole Oriole, and also Jen Segala, choreographer. They are all involved in getting Mary Poppins up and running for Friday and Saturday, April 10th and 11th. They'll be presenting to the school on the 13th of April, but that's all upcoming, I think, before our next school committee meeting. And I know the work that those directors have put in and the students, it promises to be a great show. That's everything that's going on.
Wow, so many contributors.
Yeah. Too bad we had to lose the Block Island game. The game was scheduled for the Friday, the week of distance learning. It brought us into the month of March, and we just called and unfortunately had to cancel. So we never returned the trip to them. So we owe them a second basketball game at some point in time going out there.
You led with it. Unbelievable, the facilities team here.
It was unreal. It really was.
Students every month. This was a really robust month with so many grades represented and students, but the facilities, those photos, superintendent shared some with us. There was more than one where I was like, this is at the school, but where
that you couldn't tell where it was.
because there was just so much snow. So kudos to those folks.
One of the snow drifts that you probably saw was in the back over by the recess door, by kindergarten door. And that snow drift covered the entire door. It was probably easily 10 foot high. It was amazing.
Very impressive. Yes, and real quick, I mean, you mentioned the Advocacy Day. Amy walking in just reminded me again, next Wednesday is Advocacy Day for the
10 o'clock
10 o'clock in the gymnasium for the IB program.
in
So
the gymnasium,
I
correct?
know we all have jobs and whatever, but we are invited. So that is a great opportunity to see what our students are doing here. Principal McKinnon, thank you as always. That was a very robust report. Superintendent report. Report on virtual learning days, blizzard of 2026. Look at that. A historic day.
Historic. Yeah, I just want to build on what Jack had said, and you as well, Travis. The facilities team custodians were unbelievable. As Jack said, we could have opened school. The school was cleared, but it was the buses that had difficulty navigating. But kudos to our custodians. The municipality were wonderful too. Great communication with them. When we were talking about opening a school, they cautioned us about the buses and the roads and so forth. But there was excellent communication all across the board and our bus company as well. But I do have to say, Jack and Darlene and the staff, we touched base the Friday before the storm, which was the Friday vacation week. And Jack said, we should prepare for this. And we need to open the school because some of our students didn't have computers. So Jack was clairvoyant or whatever. I don't know. He had the magic ball and the school was open and we had every family except but four, was that?
Yeah, I think
2 or 4?
Mhm.
4 families came by and they picked up their computers. So we were able to have the virtual learning the next week. Now that didn't occur in a lot of districts.
Mhm.
Some districts didn't send those computers home.
Yeah, you had shared that was.
But Jack had the insight to really open up the school and get those computers out. So I know Tom was there too, so handing those out. So I want to thank them. And also the teachers, they were able to pivot quickly for the virtual learning. And it's not easy, but they pivoted. We had a good schedule for them with students engaged in the morning. And then in the afternoon, they did have office hours. So they weren't on the screen all day long, that they did have the instruction in the morning and then the office hours and the check-in. So congratulations to them. All the state superintendents were on calls with the Commissioner of Education. We all shared our challenges. By district, she was very well aware that some districts could open. And I think the earliest district maybe opened Thursday or Friday of that blizzard weekend. Actually, it was up north. But here on the coast, we really got hit the hardest. So as a result, she is going to her board on March 31st. I just got an email from her today. We all did. And asking the board, her board, the RIDE board, to waiver school the 180 required days to 2 emergency days. They were states of emergency. You couldn't be on the, on the road or whatever. And she feels that the board will approve those. Now we have to bring that to you because you have to approve them as well. So once she approves them on the 31st, we'll bring them to you for approval for our April meeting. So what that means for us, even though we had the virtual days, we're allowed 5 virtual days. We use the 5 virtual days with that. We could reclaim the 2 days in the event that we need. No, I don't even want to say it. In the event that we need.
What do you say?
Yeah, I know. My clairvoyant told me. But we will reclaim that. And I had discussed that with the commissioner. What is she going to do with the districts that did have the virtual and were able to do it? So we really only have that one day to make up that first snowstorm. And that was a fun day for the kids anyway, to really play in the snow. And we'll have to make that up. John is working on reimbursement. We were asked to put in and things like, and maybe you'll talk about it in your report, I don't know, overtime, plowing, any damage. So you're going to talk about that?
Can do it now.
Okay. Oh.
So we're gonna meet with FEMA and REMA next Wednesday to talk about reimbursement. So what has to happen is there has to be a minimum amount that we have to put forth in terms of statewide in order to qualify. So, and right now they have only expenditures in the first 48 hours of the storm. They're trying to get the 72 hours because some communities went right through the end of the week in terms of cleaning up. So they're at least going to try to get to the 72 hours. So we'll have a better idea next week as to what the prospects are of getting some reimbursements. But we're going to gather all the expenses that we have of the school and the town and submit those, or at least discuss them. Normally what happens is FEMA comes into the town, so they assign somebody to the community. They come in, they start looking at invoices and it's et cetera, but they're doing everything remotely at this point in time. So I'm not sure what the prospects are of reimbursement at this point.
But we're ready, we're shovel ready, so to speak, to submit everything.
So on reimbursement, Sean, is there a past history where they've covered like 50% or 30%, or is it? I'm sure they're not going to cover 100%, but I mean,
Yeah, I really don't know what they've done in the past in terms of coverage. I know that in the past, we've submitted for reimbursement, talking with Chief Petron, that we have been able to get reimbursement. So I don't think that's an issue, because I think Rhode Island Emergency Management is going to work with us to make sure that, since it was, a state of emergency that was declared, to see if we can get some of that federal money. But, I don't know what's happening in Washington at this point in time.
I guess my second question would be, as far as I understand the one day that we need to make up, not to do with the blizzard per se, but we have that one snow day to make up. What does that do for us for the end of the school year as far as our schedule and graduation?
Jack and
I
I
can
were
speak
just
to-
talking
yeah.
about it today.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. I wanted to ask you about graduation because you said Civics B is the 16th.
16th, so our graduation will be on the 17th.
Okay.
And the last day of school is the 18th, which is a Thursday.
That's how as it stands now. If we don't have another snow day.
Yeah.
We will be, and because Friday is Juneteenth, we don't
17th.
really want to kick it to what would that, 22nd?
The thing is, we're ready if we do have a day and we reclaim those 2 days.
Yeah.
We could use a virtual day. And even though the Department of Ed said 5 days, the commissioner is open to more days if we needed them. And we had that discussion online with her. That we would just have to submit a request, the reasons why, and how we're adhering to it. One thing that was really good is the bus company, we asked, I think it was Thursday, we asked the bus company to do a dry run. I think I had let you all know. So that the town could know where they needed to take down the snow piles or, cut the curb a little bit better. And they were very cooperative doing that. And we did send out notice to parents, don't, because you see the bus coming around, don't put your child on the bus. But again, working with this team has been wonderful. Everything just went very smoothly and, I couldn't, we were really proud of the work everybody did as the team. So thank you.
I think I could share as the committee. We were also very proud of foresight by the administration, Principal McKinnon and Darlene, getting those computers out. And then certainly your communication with us all week, just keeping us apprised to have a call with this, with the ride and the commissioner, and this is what's happening. And so thank you so much, because there was a moment of what is happening. And it's great to hear that there was the communication within the community was just so strong, because I know that that's something that is really one of our strengths here. And it's not necessarily a strength everywhere. There's a lot of moving parts, but to get everybody on the same page and rowing in the same direction, or plowing in the same direction in this case, really was helpful.
That concludes my report.
Sure.
Thank you, Superintendent.
So the 18th, that was, I don't have the calendar in front of us. Was that originally our last day of school?
17th was originally,
17th.
17th was,
So the 18th is going to be.
the 18th is the new last day.
Just keep it rolling. Over to the gentleman in the blue coat.
Got nothing.
Nothing. Well, you did have a very robust second session with us regarding the budget. But what do you have here?
Well, let's start off with 25. So the other day, town council had met and we've appointed new auditors for the district for the fiscal year 25, 26, and 27. Company called CBIZ, which is headquartered in New York. They've got offices here in Rhode Island, specializing in municipalities. So we're looking forward to bringing them on board. The 25 audit, based on the RFP that I submitted and what was bid on, is they have to complete that by June 30th to 26th. So by completing that, we'll have completed 2 audits in the past year, and that catches us up on our audits. So we're going to be on track going forward. 26, we couple of issues we did receive, and I spoke about this at the budget meening, that we're going to be receiving $100,000 distribution from EBEC, educational collaborative that we were a member of, and that money did come in, so that's in the bank, and we're showing that obviously as revenue in 26. So with that revenue in there, we're looking at a surplus for the year, somewhere around $44,000. Now it's still early in the year, so we have things budgeted that we may not be spending. So I'm hoping that we could probably enhance that surplus as we go forward. The electric bills are starting to roll in. I think I've got through October of this year, and we're still looking at, so we ended 25. So at the end of June, we had about a $13,000 credit sitting on the account, which I've recorded, and I think through the end of October, we're still looking at about $5,000 or $6,000 credit on the bill. Of course, we're going to wind up continuing to get in the virtual net metering credits from the Warren project, and we will have payments that we have to make on that, because if you recall the virtual net metering credits, we're paying, we get the full credit on our bill, and then we have to pay 65% of that to the
array and Warren. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean in Warren, I should say. So we're going to be, I think we'll do pretty close to our budget for the current year. So at least that's coming to a point where I can at least analyze it at this point. 27, we do have a meeting with the budget committee on March 24th. We'll do the same presentation we did with the school committee. I would expect that they'll have certain questions. There was one question that did come out of the budget committee, which was a question about, do they have the ability to look at line items and as opposed to the budget as a whole. And obviously under state law, they can look at total, but they can't individually look, they look at them, but they can't say, well, you can't spend
Correct.
this amount of money on that. So, but I'm not anticipating any issues. We've got, as you know, I submitted not only a balanced budget for the school, but I have one for the town. So that's in place with all the revenue budgeted, which is not something they've had in the past. So right now we have a balanced budget. So if there's anything that would be added to that budget, something's got to be taken away on the expense side. So, you know, I haven't heard much feedback other than that from the budget committee. So we're optimistic. I think that we've got to be 30 days before the financial town meeting. So usually in the beginning of April, they'll finalize their report, the budget committee.
Correct. And I think the financial town meeting is May 19th this year.
It's May 19th. Yep.
Thank you. Really, really great work at the last budget workshop here, and then certainly every month when you do your presentation of where we stand financially. John, thank you so much for the school and also for what you do for the town now.
One question on that solar. So we have a $6,000 credit, approximately $5,000 or $6,000 at the end of October. It's October 25, I would imagine.
Right.
And I understand we have to pay the 65% to the Warren Array for usage over there. If we would have, so there's a little confusion on that. If we're working off of credit on our electric bill from what we're producing here, what is the 65% that we're paying to Warren if we're not drawing down on that?
This is different than the solar. So this is the virtual net metering. So they're generating, and on our bill, we get 100% of the credit that they're generating on that virtual net metering on our bill. All right. So the cost of them to generate that, they gave us a 35% discount, which was pretty good. In Lincoln, I only got 20%. And most of the credits I was looking at when we were entering into the agreement were under 30. So the 35% was a pretty good deal. So basically what we're getting is a 35% discount off the energy that we're utilizing. So that takes a third of our energy costs right off the top. And then we'll also have the solar that will feed into the cost of the energy, reducing it as well too. So it's a net number. But what happened on the credits is that because Rhode Island Energy was so far behind in their bills,
Right.
they were able to get all the credits in for the year. So those get into our account. But we couldn't see how they were being used because Rhode Island Energy wasn't giving us our current billings. So now that they're giving us our current billings, we can see how it's being absorbed.
So would it be a fair statement to say that $6,000 credit is between both systems? Or is that not a?
No. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the solar. So we'll have additional credits going to our electricity cost as a result of the credits that we'll be selling on the solar side. And of course, those are obviously minimal during the winter months.
So 6,000 is strictly the credits based on the Warren site only.
Right, virtual net metering on the Warren side. Yeah.
Electricity that's here, where are we with that as far as?
So that one, they've packaged up credits, which they do on a quarterly basis. So I think we've got a couple of quarters outstanding. I've got to check on that, but obviously the last few months, we start getting into November, they're obviously a lot less than.
Certainly January and February. I mean, the panels, and I was speaking with Roger about it. Our panels some of them were definitely obstructed during those storms.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, there's going to be some sort of,
So do we have anything to show for what we've paid, what we've bundled and sold from?
I can get that from the corporate.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, have we sold, like, we must have, because we're not using the electricity that we're producing on the roof from our previous conversation, so what have we made in the money that we've sold as far as what's been bundled?
Yeah, I can put something together.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Over to committee reports, policy subcommittee report. We met earlier this evening and we will be presenting approval of the electronic device use policy, which will be the 7th time in which we have discussed it. So we look forward to that. And I will then turn it over to Mr. Mark Gleischer with the Portsmouth School Committee report.
Thank you. Not a ton to report. The meeting this week focused around presentations from elementary school, middle school, and high school about their different programs and curriculum, and a lot of discussion about the snow days. Another big portion of the meeting focused around the success of their sports program, and I wanted to ask Mr. McKinnon, do you know any of the boys that had played on that freshman basketball team this year?
Oh, yeah.
Can you name them for us? Because they had quite a season and won their regional tournament and are in the state tournament now.
Michael Shadier was one of them, and my nephew Brendan was the other one. Both started for the Portsmouth freshman
Right.
team,
Little Compton, baby.
and they beat Henrican on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beat them by about 7 points. So it was a big win for them. And then their varsity team, as you know, Mark,
Yeah, they're going gangbusters too.
they won Friday night and won the state championship.
Yeah. So that's just a great thing to hear coming out of that meeting. And we also got some praise for our virtual days from the Portsmouth School Committee. The superintendent mentioned how we had kept pace with them because they also were one of the few towns around to successfully have virtual days during the snow blizzard. So really good news on both fronts.
Yeah, that's awesome. Question, did they approve the 26, 27
Yes.
school?
Yep.
They did approve it?
Yeah.
All right, good. Just me. All right, over to Miss Sue Chase with the wellness.
Well, I really don't have a lot to report other than it was Wellness Week at school today. And I see Carolyn Sedgwick. I don't know if she can talk to that a little bit, if we can, or.
Very quickly, we'll go full report at the next wellness meeting. So,
Right.
I think one of the highlights was we introduced the arts and how the arts can enhance our personal wellness. Every day we piped in music as staff arrived for the day, and with mixed reviews as to how it made them feel. Began their day. We charted that using the ruler mood meter. That was fun to then put up on the screen for everybody to see. We played the music and the stats from throughout the day. So that was really fun. We also colored. We had a big coloring thing. See what came in, and yeah, we're still colored. So we really focused and doing our job. But we really focused on how the arts can feelings of wellness. And again, Susan will do a huge report for you because there were a lot more activities happening, nutrition wise. And I think other than the music and what we learned about that, it was the staff massages that the PTO brought in for us on Thursday that really, and it was a returning masseuse. She'd been here last year and she remembered our staff members and how you doing with that. Let's get back into that area. So it was.
I would just like to add a thank you to you because I did hear through the grapevine that you provided jars of honey, which ties in with our IB.
Yeah, we have a huge link to our IB community project from last year where a beehive went to the apiary that I manage at my son's farm. And we were able to get just a tiny bit of honey, but just enough to fill little jars for the staff.
That's all joy.
Yeah, so that was fun. We had that one staff. Yeah, yeah, and the students who made the project came in to see Miss Lots this week. She showed them the honey and a sponge. Oh, sweet. They were proud.
Awesome. That's a full
Yeah.
circle. We love that. Well done, well done, everyone. It's great. Carolyn, when you said there was mixed reviews about the music,
Yeah,
just not their taste, or, I mean, music always makes me feel better, so was it
Yes.
just some genres were not welcome?
Yeah, I think we got the most mixed reviews on it was music to help you focus. And it was low fidelity music. It was yeah, some people just and other people were like, oh, it was that had the widest range of responses. It was really fun. Yeah. Yep. And then by the end of the week, Mr. Russo was sharing out music that had personal connection. And that had an amazing, he shared, I mean, his mix was varied and wonderful. So that was yeah, and then the pop music, I had mixed reviews because it was current pop and what's that word? Are we sure for Pike Rose Intercom? Oh no, it's cool, it's all clean. So there was that. I think the relaxing day where it was Noah even introduced us to one day it was sad music. And like sad music. But it was sometimes when you're sad, listening to music really helps. It's the healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
And helps you get over. Yeah. So yeah, it was very, very interesting. Fun. It's really fun.
Awesome. I love that you added that wrinkle in there.
Thank you, Carolyn, for filling in my report. All right, great.
Carolyn, Sue, thank you so much. 7-4, Town Recreation Committee Liaison, Mr. Mark Fleischer.
We did meet, but I don't think there were any topics discussed related to Wilbur McMahon School beyond that we're going out to bid for the playground. Yeah, it's just still in process.
Okay. Thank you. I did want to piggyback on the Portsmouth boys. Who did they beat again? It was Hendricken?
Bishop Henrican, yeah.
Bishop Hendricken, a school that gets to recruit their players, not homegrown from the district. So kudos to those boys, and certainly are others that are still involved in the state open tournaments. Moving on to action items. We'll have a discussion, but is there a motion to approve the personnel electronic device use policy? Personal electronic device use policy. So moved. Do I have a second?
second.
Discussion. All right, see.
Yeah. Start if you.
Well, I mean, I think you'll start. Go ahead.
So one thing was that I think is minor. It's just in your first paragraph, it speaks to personal cell phones and electronic devices used in the school department. This is one. Is that just a typographical error?
Where is that, Mike?
First paragraph.
So it's really, yeah, after the purpose, where it says the purpose, this is given. The second paragraph there where it says starts with given and ends with schools department 1.
Yeah, that one can just be deleted.
Good eye, Michael.
I think clerically, I think there was one other thing too on page 2, under B, where there's a note there, because students cannot receive emails from external emails.
Yeah, all right, that will be removed.
So student cannot receive email.
I think it was a question, right? Can student
Yeah.
email? Okay.
And I know that they can't rest that.
Excellent. Seeing as those, go ahead, Michael.
Okay, just so that's a good point. So is there a reason why they can't receive emails from their parents?
Because they can't receive any external emails. It's just a safety feature. I think Tom could probably speak more to it, but
That's the reason. Because it's preventing emails. It would be very difficult to allow specific accounts to receive emails from other specific accounts without knowing every single possible combination, and setting up every single possible combination. By doing that, you're preventing any form of outside coming in. I don't want to use the word bad actors. I don't want to go beyond that, but it's just to prevent any sort of communications with people that you may not know. Not saying that we don't want parents to talk, but who knows who else could be talking and emailing. It'd be like opening up chats, opening up other things. By doing that, just trying to keep the students safer, basically.
Okay. And my last question is that when this, one of the 7 times that Travis mentioned, it was that I said about that we would start this for the new school year.
Correct.
And that's not mentioned in here, so that if we were to vote on this, I don't want this to be that we have a commencement date when this would actually take place. I mentioned the last time that I was concerned about moving the goalposts during the middle of the school year.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So the intent of this is to not start it until school year 26-27, the start of school year 26-27. So maybe we can amend the motion to include that.
So we could do procedurally is you can just withdraw the motion and the second and then reformulate the motion to say approve policy to be enacted for this upcoming school year.
I will withdraw the motion.
Draw the second.
And I will consider a motion to approve the personal electronic device use policy with the edits we discussed this evening for the 26-27 Wilbur McMahon school year.
So
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Excellent work, team. Sean, administrators, school committee, well done. We are well ahead of this. If there are any things that do come to light, we can certainly discuss it prior to the 26-27 school year. As Mark reported, our partner district, Portsmouth, approved the 26-27 school calendar. And that is, when they did so. And so we will consider a motion to approve, or motion to approve the LCSD school year 26-27 calendar. So moved. Do I have a second? And we will have discussion. I will just say last year, I thought Michael and myself tried to be very creative with what about this day? What about that day? I would like to avoid that this year. I see that we are starting again before Labor Day, but Labor Day is the 7th. So it's not that first. I think last year it was like 1-2,
Yeah.
right? It was that we came back to school on that Thursday and then we had a 4-day weekend. So that doesn't present here. The only other thing I will note for parents that I see on weekends that were pulling their hair out come the 2nd of January. It's only a 12-day break, it looks like this year instead of 16 days. So that is it certainly less than the 16. So that might be welcome.
Day off in March, though, that's always nice.
The day off in March, the 26th is, there
Usually
you
there's no
go.
days off in March.
Whoa. Good Friday is the 26th and Easter is the 28th. Wow. Just pumping it forward. Earlier and earlier.
So this one is identical to Portsmouth right now.
Yes, they've approved.
They approved theirs. This was vetted with our union leadership and administration. Some of the days we put in the staff development days that might be different from Portsmouth, but it aligns.
All right. If there's no further discussion, there is a motion, there is a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Excellent. The motion carries. Thank you all. If you're paying attention at home, certainly the union leaders and then Principal McKinnon and Superintendent Krieger, thank you so much for this engagement. I know that sounds like it's an easy thing to do, but there's a lot of moving parts with putting the school schedule together. So thank you so much. The next piece, and I believe John McNamee will be able to speak to this along with Sean regarding the considered to approve the Optimum Water New England Service Agreement. Do I have a motion?
A motion.
Do I have a second?
Yeah.
And discussion. John, do you just want to speak to this? This is for the moving it right along. No, but this is, just to be clear, this is for the
Have
PFAS.
existing water filtration systems in the school, and then we had, I guess during COVID, we must put in some air purification systems. So this is just kind of an extension of the existing contract that we have in place right now. They're going to keep the fees, I think, are the same, except that there was an additional one added. Other than that, the fees are in line with what we have budgeted.
All right, so to be clear, this has nothing to do with the PFAS. This is for the individual units within the school that have the filtration system. I believe we saw this document or was it? I feel like we've seen this before.
Well, if it came before, I don't know, it might have been the night we were talking about who gets to sign and approve it.
I think it was the night we were talking about signing and approving it. All right, so any further discussion?
I'm just curious, so John, how did they originally get approved? I understand you're trying to extend the existing contract that's there now.
Well, the existing contract is expired already.
It's for our, like the one where you put the water bottle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for those.
Yeah, purification systems as well.
Yeah, purification systems, what, in the classrooms or what?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, around the building, classrooms, oh, I think for the most part, all have them.
So we're renting those units, air purification systems?
Those are the systems that they have in here from this company, correct?
I guess I'm just kind of curious to at what point do things go out to bid for? You know, it's looking at the numbers, like what triggers for us to go out to bid for stuff?
Well, some of these, like the water system, some of them I think are plumbed in right now as well too. So, I mean, those units are going to be, some of them are going to be difficult to kind of take out at this point in time too. So I don't see the benefit of bidding it out at this point in time, but.
I think the original contract was before everybody's time here on the committee, and this is just an extension of the current contract. To Mr. McNamee's point, I mean, some of these are in spaces that were bubblers, and now they are these.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, they still have the bubbler feature, and they have
Certainly during the pandemic that these things came in.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I don't know whether RIDE had recommended this company or they were providing services through the MPA. I can check to see if they're on the MPA, but some of these things now are plumbed in, so I need to, to try to put it up a bit in the.
And you have budgeted for it, correct?
It is in the budget, yes.
I think it's just more like a general question, like at what point does things, and I know that and I was a proponent of this, right, to ask to bring things back to the school committee, kind of keeps the school committee engaged, right, just to know what's going on, how things are working, but at what point does it trigger for us? I understand what you're saying, that these are hard plumbed in, so you may not want to go down that road, but.
Yeah, so under the state procurement laws, initially it was set up at a $5,000 number per year, which has now been increased due to inflation. I think that number probably is north of 7,500 or $8,000 at this point in time. So that's kind of the benchmark that you would use, that if it's at that number, you would then have to advertise it for competitive bids. Normally what will happen is, and a lot of times what will happen, if we're looking at something, if it's below that number, we're still getting quotes from 3 vendors. If it's a situation like, for example, WB Mason is on the NPA list, so that's a state contract that we're working off. So we don't necessarily bid out, but in some instances, we may go to another supplier to get something that might be a supply because it's going to be cheaper than WB providing that. So for the most part, and it's going to be that for general expenditures, somewhere between a 7 and 8, and then for construction, probably something over 15 right now, which we do obviously when we do any type of construction work too. Even if we're working off the MPA list, we can have that selection, but oftentimes what we'll do is we'll get multiple quotes. Like copy machines, a lot of the major copy suppliers are on the MPA. Once our copy is, and they'll probably be coming up soon, we'll probably go to the MPA list because they'll probably have the 3 largest makers anyway. And we'll solicit quotes based on the type of machine that we're looking at. But in terms of advertising, generally, if it's not something that, we can get somebody off the MPA for, we'll do the advertising.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was just off the MPA, I mean, I guess what's that threshold, right? And you're still saying that's still that $8,000 mark at that point too, right?
Yeah.
For services and not construction.
For services, right. And construction would be a little bit higher than that.
John, is this off the NPA? This one, this particular item?
I would have to check to see if that is on the MPA. The other thing is if it's on another buying board that we can have access to and provide, and we get a discount. The state procurement regulations allow us to do is to buy off those kinds. So Massachusetts may have a contract in place. And generally what we're doing is working off that contract.
And the timeline for this with our current situation, if we were to hold off for 1 meeting, would that be problematic?
Well, at least it's already expired.
So what are we doing right now then?
To provide the service.
Okay. I reviewed the contract for its terms, which is fine, and I recommend approval. My only concern is just if the town has any particular bidding procedures that we comply with those.
I think we're fine on the town side.
I just wondered about the install fees and the yearly deep cleaning is billed separately. So is that something that's contracted?
Yeah, so there are filters that are changed twice a year on the systems, and those are done. It's not a huge cost, but it is done. We're talking with Chris today, so it is done twice a year on filter changes, which I think is important because you put these systems in and then you don't change the filters and they're not working the way they should. So.
Correct, not doing what the functions. All right, so we do have a motion, we do have a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing there is none, all in favor? Aye. Motion, any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, John, for your thorough analysis, Sean, for your looking over it, and Michael for your question. Next item is, excuse me, I scrolled a little too far there. consider discussing to approve the Relay School-Based Software and Services Agreement. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
And discussion? You or Tom?
This is the Medicaid reimbursement, so they submit all the claims that are being made for Medicaid reimbursement. I believe the fee is either 4.5% or 5% of the claims that are filed. There are not a lot of companies that do it, but this was Relay Purchase Copy Claim, which was doing probably most of the state, if not all. So when they were sold, we just kind of moved right into Relay. So there are two claims. There are services claims that are done on a monthly basis, and then there's a quarterly administrative claims that is done as well. So they kind of make sure that we're submitting all the information to them so that they can produce the service claims as well. So that system has been in place here. It was fairly new when we went into when we engaged them, when we moved into our own special ed department, which has been 2 years now, or 3?
Two
Yeah.
full years. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 full years.
This is, we get our Medicaid revenues
From
as a result of this.
Right.
All right.
And that's that's based on services that we provide is what it comes down to.
Well, it's, yeah, qualified Medicaid services. So any types of services we're providing to students that would qualify for those, and they kind of monitor that. So let's say we're buying a device that a student might need. We'll make a determination whether that device qualifies for reimbursement, and they make sure that that gets submitted. And they also track, they have a pretty robust computer system that kind of tracks the claims and everybody that needs to report the services. So if we have social workers or teachers providing those services that qualify for Medicaid, they're picking up those costs based on information that's submitted to them. So it's kind of a specialized niche that they're in.
So, sounds like it, and I understand that. So basically, they're taking 4 to 5% of whatever we're putting in for a reimbursement for Medicaid.
Right. Yeah.
Seeing as there is no other discussion, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 8.5, any requests for administration or legal counsel from the committee? Seeing as there are none, item 8.6 will entertain a motion to enter into executive session under RIGL section 42-46-5A1 and 2 via roll call. Or first, do I have a motion? So moved. Do I have a second? I have a second. We will vote via roll call.
Susan Chase,
Aye.
Amy Gleicher.
Aye.
Mark Gleicher,
Aye.
Mike Rocha, and Charles Sagi.
Aye. Thank you all. We will be returning in open session. I'm also going to do that, hopefully soon. Like to
Wait,
Okay,
I'd like to welcome everyone back to open session as we reconvene here. And just notice that any person that was discussed in executive session was given the opportunity to have the discussion take place in open session.
And there were no votes taken.
And there were no votes taken in executive session. And item 10.3, I will consider a motion to seal the minutes of executive session. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We will consider a motion to accept employee separation agreement.
So
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 10.5. Consider a motion to accept the retirement of the superintendent.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries 5-0. Item 10.6. Consider, discuss, and vote to create a superintendent search subcommittee. This is similar to our, or I'll just consider the motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
The discussion is ultimately there will be a subcommittee of this body. This body is the final decision maker on the hiring of any new superintendent. However, there will be a subcommittee that will report back to this body along with other members. And so I'll read the statement. The superintendent search subcommittee will be following the hiring protocols outlined in the Little Compton School Department Human Capital Management Policy. An interview team working with the subcommittee will likely consist of a member of administration, teacher and support personnel, union representative, parent, and a parent who is involved in the school improvement as a school improvement team member. So it'll be a collection of folks that will screen these applicants and then report back to this committee. And then, of course, this committee will absolutely have a final interview or multiple, depending on what the candidates look for or that it yields. But we will be very much involved in this process and the feedback from the subcommittee. So I have a motion, I have a second. I've shared my discussion. Is there any other discussion? Seeing there is none, all in favor of approving the superintendent search subcommittee?
So
All in favor?
I don't think that we,
We did at the beginning, and then I did discussion.
that's what happened.
Yeah.
And aye.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, aye. Oh. Motion carries 5-0. Item 10.7, appointment of the superintendent search committee by the chair. So the subcommittee will consist of Amy Gleischer and Susan Chase. The reason in my decision-making is Michael, myself, and Mark, our seats are up for re-election this year. And they were the top vote getters of the last election. More importantly, regardless of what happens in the upcoming election, these two committee members will be working with the superintendent for the duration of the remainder of their term, which ends in 2028. So I think it's very important that they are the ones as the point people, and they will report back to this committee as necessary, as we typically do with our subcommittees. Do you accept?
Accept.
Okay. And I will consider a motion to approve the posting of the superintendent position.
I would suggest on this before a motion's made, if you want to have a discussion about the posting and then make a motion if any
Okay.
language was hired out, just so we can kind of
Yeah, that's fine.
keep it straight.
Any discussion?
It's not 10.8, correct?
Correct.
So what will we set a time frame as far as
How long the posting is up?
posting, right?
Yeah. Carolyn, what would you say, a month? Or unless you tell me different.
Yeah, there is a setting in School Spring where it can be an ongoing process. You don't have to set a date, but as we start to get applications in, we can absolutely start the screening process. It's basically open until filled, or we can have a date applications must be received by. It's really up to you which one.
Does that put us in any? Does that hold us down or anything if we put in applications need to be received by so that we can? So that our subcommittees and what have you can like move this process along? So that,
I don't see a problem.
I don't see a problem with that, and it also gives us a good gauge as to, are we getting enough in? Do we need to do more to promote the position?
so I personally, my own feeling is that we set a deadline of what we want to get these in by, so. And then we can gauge everything at that point, because to leave it open-ended, I understand the concept.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't want to see it open-ended until June. You know what I mean? That's,
Absolutely.
If I'm looking at my calendar, Carolyn, when do you believe that this would be posted?
I mean,
If it's approved tonight, when can it be posted to the site?
we can post it tomorrow. We can run it for 2 weeks, or until the 1st of April, which is about 2.5 weeks. And then the subcommittee can plan to meet that first week of April, maybe.
could we post it tomorrow at, say, 3:00? Is that just so I can just
Yeah, that's fine.
read one more?
But I'm saying in terms of the timeline, is that good with you till April 1st? 2.5 weeks? Unless you,
I would refer to you on this because of the hiring process and past experience. Do you think that that's?
enough time.
I think given the timing, 2.5 weeks is a really great place to start. We can always extend it another week if we feel that we need to kind of cast the net a little wider.
So let me go one step further. When is our next school committee meeting?
It would be April 8th.
April 8th, yeah.
And you're suggesting what's the date?
April 1st.
Yeah, if we close it at the end of March, which is the 31st, and then if the subcommittee wants to meet a week prior to the next regular meeting, they can at least provide an update that week in between to the committee.
So I think that would be good because then our next regular meeting, if we decide to cast that net further,
Yes.
we could have that discussion at that
There
time.
may be cost involved in that, depending on which resource we choose to use to provide us a different applicant pool.
That's fine.
Where will you post tomorrow? Just to School Spring?
Full spring tomorrow. I also can post on an application called Handshake, which gives it visibility to all of the colleges around and their graduates, their alumni. So
Yeah.
it will go out in School Spring Handshake. School Spring does link up with Indeed, so it will likely appear there. And then we can also, if you would like me to, we could put it on our school website. It could go out in our social media. We want to do that too.
I would say use every resource that's possible.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah, I'd rather use all the resources possible, like that we can at day one, right? Rather than be exclusive in our posting and then be in this room in a month and say, well, why didn't we do that? So anything that is not of cost to the district, I would say use those posting resources.
Is there anything of cost that you would see right now that comes to your mind that like supposed to be pricing, but they said not to use cost?
Is one, and Sean might have some experience with this. It's called NASDAQ.
So
It's called NASDAQ, New England School Development Executive Council. Some school districts in New England use that for their executive searches. We could look into becoming an affiliate of NASDAQ. I know that, other Rhode Island districts have used them before, and that their services can range from simply helping you promote your posting to actually doing the full search and recruitment for you. I have not yet looked into the cost of that. Might be something that if we're not getting the applicant pool that the subcommittee wants to pursue, then, or that they feel is qualified, that might be something that we look at as our next round. You know, if we have to repost, for example, then we look at what level of support might we need to attract more qualified candidates.
The only thing I would say, and we kind of had this discussion as far as going to outside resources if needed, right? If we need to, but as far as just helping to promote that particular organization or that group, if that's an avenue for us that we can do, then I would say let's use that, right? It's without taking
Right.
the bigger services at this point.
Right. What I can do is I can look into, okay, what does it cost to be an affiliate? And then what will they do maybe just to help us link it, get it to more places in the meantime? Yeah.
So motion to approve the posting of the superintendent position.
But I just want to be clear on something because Mike has raised a question about being able to provide feedback to Carolyn on the posting tomorrow. So if you vote to approve it now, or is Carolyn going to have any discretion to change it based on Mike's feedback? So if one route is to say no, we're just approving it now, which that's just a straightforward vote on the posting. The other would be to say vote for approval contingent upon, and you could say HR and legal counsel's final approval, and we will give Mike some time to give us suggestions. If we're both comfortable with it and you trust the three of us, then we will make those changes and move forward. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm just trying to be accommodating to a committee member, but also realize that we have to have something you all agree to.
And you and Carolyn have already reviewed this?
We have already reviewed it, yeah. And we are.
Like, let me ask it a different way. So this is basically the basic guidelines of what we're looking for, right? Going forward. When it actually comes time to hire X, whoever that may be, at that time, if we wanted to add, certain duties.
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I put in there other duties that the school committee charges. So there's already in the posting, it's already school committee can add stuff. Essentially, is what it is. So you have that flexibility. You're not locking yourself into a job description from here henceforth, based on a vote tonight.
Okay, then I would say then we just go ahead with it, as long as we can.
Thank you, Mike.
As long as we
Thank
can.
Yeah.
Add duties.
As necessary.
Yeah.
Because
Mike performs such other tasks as may from time to time be assigned by the school committee. Next one,
all right, so I will consider a motion to approve the posting of the superintendent position on all viable hiring outlets with a expiration date of, are we in agreement on March 31st? Or April 1?
If we make it 3:31, that opens up the opportunity for the subcommittee to potentially meet on April 1st and start talking about the team that they want to put together, screenings, or potentially let's do a reposting and make these changes.
Say no more. So consider a motion to approve the posting of the superintendent position on all viable hiring media outlets with an expiration date of March 31st. So do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I will consider a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you all for your time tonight and diligence and tuning in. Tom, thank you as always.
Very good.